That makes
Because
sense.
like it's easy, like, or fried. You just fry up an egg on the, fry
Nothing
up
wrong.
4 eggs and boom, there's breakfast, baby.
And away we go. Didn't think you guys were going to be starting off with egg talk tonight. Um, here after a crazy weekend and leading into another big weekend here. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bring It with now both hosts being Beast of the East champions. D Money, what's happening, baby? What you drinking?
First of all, congratulations. We talked about this earlier. You got 2 more to catch up with me. Tonight, I'm drinking this Game Up. I've got the Game Up Hard Hydration. I got the fruit punch, and on deck I've got the lemon lime.
Mm-hmm.
And this was compliments of Chad from the Cookies crew. I was down at Martel. He came over to me, just handed it to me. I was like, oh, I was very surprised. He's like, here, take this, drink them on Tuesday. Give us a shout out. And yeah, so shout out to Chad. He's in the comments here. And yeah, I mean, this is my first one.
Really?
I waited to drink it until tonight. This fruit punch, it tastes like a Gatorade.
Okay. Yeah. I love these things. I had it last year at the Plex because Game Up Hard Hydration is at the Plex, and I got to tell you what, man, I love it. And I'm actually on their website right now, drinkgameup.com. And they aren't in New Hampshire, but they're right on the border. They're in Mass. They're in Connecticut. They're in New Jersey as well. Looks like they're just missing Rhode Island and Vermont and North. So tell you what,
Yeah.
like I'm drinking the lemon lime right now. I've got the grape on deck, and then we're gonna wrap up the show with the orange. Who knows? Maybe I'll drive down to Bill Ricca and grab myself a case of this for next week's podcast.
I mean, these are just the stat line on these for the nutritional facts. If you're going to be drinking 110 calories, 4.9%, you got 2 carbs, and it's gluten free right on the front there. I mean, this is pretty good. This is good stuff. I'm interested to see how the hydration works because typically alcohol dehydrates you, right? So
Yeah.
I'm interested how you take something that's dehydrating you and something that's hydrating you quite a bit, and you slam them together.
Is this like the Borg that the kids are drinking these days? And I've had this at the Plex last year. I've had this at the Plex like between games earlier in the year too. I rather drink one of these than like grab myself a Coors Light. Between games, like if I was gonna have something need a little something to take the edge off, or it was a long day, or I'm done playing. Like I grabbed one of these before I grab a beer. Just they're great.
Okay, we're seeing that it actually doesn't hydrate. Now, there are electrolytes, so it's going to give you like the salt or whatever
Yeah.
from the electrolytes that you're going to want. I was gonna because my next question was going to be like, do you just not get hangovers with this? Because that's essentially the hangover comes from dehydrating yourself.
Ask me
So
tomorrow.
yeah, so I mean, yeah, do we want to send someone down the rabbit hole of drinking an entire 12 pack of these and seeing what happens the next day?
Tune in next Tuesday because I will put myself out there for it.
Oh, that's beautiful. But thank you to
Yeah,
Chad and the Cookies
yeah,
crew. I think we're gonna get into the Beast. I think they were right up there,
they
right
were.
towards the end. So
They were a third place team. They lost
yeah,
in the winners bracket final, and then Young Guns beat them 5-1 in the losers bracket final. But what a I went into this weekend saying, I'm okay with this like 55 little rain cooler beast.
sucked.
I was out Friday night and I was outside with Amanda and I was like, this is like 52 right now. It's perfect. I'll play in this all day. Yeah, I recanted that statement pretty fucking quickly. I'd rather have been hot and dehydrated.
Yeah. We played down in in Rhode Island on Saturday, and it was like with the wind, it might have
Yeah.
been 35, 40 degrees. And it was like raining off and on. Like it was good to get out and get swings. it was not fun softball weather whatsoever. But yeah,
Like once that rain started coming pretty good later, like I know it probably went in waves for you too, where it was raining, not raining.
it was like
Um,
that light, just that
yes,
like nagging rain that just sticks there while
yeah.
while it's 50 and super windy.
It was fucking. It just I got a tour. I think the only thing that saved me was I got the tour of Southern New Hampshire, Rochester, an alumni. Rollinsford with Gold Star. So I was in the car a lot, which I think really helped.
Yeah. So you got to see some pretty decent fields. I actually got to play at Atwood down in Rhode Island for the first
How
time.
fucking awesome is that
field
field?
is fucking nice. That is a really, really nice field. It's pretty much 300 or 298 in some spots, but it's pretty much 300 all the way around. You got a double fence, so you got to fucking hit it out to hit it out. Got a nice big infield. With the one thing that was nice this weekend, I'm sure you guys saw it too, is that the infields were all pretty nice and fairly true. Just because it's a lot of times you get like hard infields or like really dry infields. This weekend with the rain, I felt that all the infields were pretty nice. No bad hops or anything like that.
I will. I'll agree with you in the beginning of the day, but
I guess when you're 57 teams or whatever. Yeah.
Our second pool play game, it was 1:00 game. I was down. I had the ball squared up. It took one hop. It was coming at my face. Somehow I got like my shoulder up. It ended up hitting me here. Like it was just. I saw a couple bad hops, but I will agree with you. That's only because of the rain. If you're not smoothing out, I smooth out the base paths. I play first, and I smooth out the base path every inning I go out there because I don't want that shit. But you know how it gets. It just gets chewed up. But it did. I thought it helped out the fields a ton. And all our fields held well. How did Atwood hold with the swamp behind it?
It was nice. I mean, I didn't touch the grass once. Look at me. But
somebody said that to me. They're like, because Riverside Park in Rochester looks the best it's ever looked. I played there when I was younger. It looks amazing.
Yeah, that's good to know.
And people were saying, well, I think Pucko may have said something. Somebody else was like, well, the outfield still needs some work. I'm like, I don't give I could care less what the outfield looks like.
Yeah, that is one thing about Rochester, that Riverside Park, is that it's pretty choppy in the outfield. We had that All-Star game against Rochester that one year, and Hayes rolled his ankle walking in. But I mean, that's also Hayes. But for a quick recap before we jump into the beast, Rhode Island, we saw Platinum Fire come out on top over the Beloli brothers. So good weekend for them. That's got to be, that's pushing them in the right direction heading into this weekend. And we're going to get to that later. I looked at the teams for this coming weekend. Yes. What an absolute gauntlet. It's going to be a fun weekend.
It is going to be a fun weekend. The Beloli Open is going to be a great weekend. And I got to tell you, excuse me, these game up hard hydrations. I'm on grape now. I'm getting the burps because I'm chugging them. They're so good. I'm gonna need I might come over and grab the rest of that 12-pack from you.
Yeah.
We should have just. This would have been the night to do it tonight because Coco can't join us tonight. So we should have just. What were we? We should have joined together.
Yeah. So and the thing was like I was talking to Jocelyn and I was like, "Do you want one of these? You want to try one of them?" She's like, "Yeah, I'll have the orange." And when I was with you yesterday, I was like, "I just want to try the orange. So you can take one and I'll take the other." And there goes my fucking orange. So. But yeah. In the comments, no TB and no Chucky Platinum Fire. That's right. Every team was missing a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
It was kind of like because those teams were, they jumped in last minute because they weren't expecting to play there after the shootout was canceled. So there were a lot of teams that were shorthanded. Yeah, just looking to go down, get swings, and it was good for it. Nice little 4-game guarantee. Sure. That park also that Brian has, the big one with like four fields on it.
Is it the Warwick Park? The Warwick, where you go through the whole park to get to the back with no.
Yeah,
lights.
that one's not bad either. No, yeah, it's a good spot. It's you got regular sized softball fields.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's got 4 of them all together.
What I
So
do like seeing right now is you're seeing more teams show up in Rhode Island. Like we're finally seeing it, and I was down. I was doing those conference games early in the day. I went down to Warwick and Atwood earlier in April, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this Warwick City Park. I'm like, why aren't there more tournaments? Like, why aren't people coming down here? Because it is a good setup.
yeah, I was talking to him yesterday, and we're gonna have him on probably within the next month or so. He used to run some like massive tournaments. He said that, once the Plex kind of started getting all the teams, or once they built that, that's where the majority of the Northeast softball started playing.
Sure.
Before that, it was him. He was running, some of the larger tournaments, in ED and up. So I'm interested to see what he has to say. I mean, because he's been doing it a long time. So yeah, interested to hear a little history on the Rhode Island softball front.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be good to have him on. We haven't had him on before.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we got
my,
the Hawk.
the boys.
The Hawk. We saw. Well, I didn't get a chance to see the Hawk. Eric Gray grabbed those for us. With the way the beast was just falling, I didn't get a chance to see Lost Brothers. But I got to tell you, playing in the D this year, playing the D again this year, but the D Beast of the East, this pool of teams, I think, blows out of the water the competition last year. I think in the D's was very high. It was very well-rounded. It was a tough tournament. There was a lot of good teams here, and especially I think where you saw with the C being on different ones, people picked up guys to help out, fill some holes as well. So it just made the overall competition rise.
I was gonna say you did see that. You know what I mean? So that's interesting. We see the Open Beast is at, I think it's like 13, in between 13 and 16 teams right now.
Okay.
Like to see more D teams get in that.
Why not?
Because
July 8th.
Yeah, you had a bunch of the C guys drop down to play in your tournament. So come on up. It's not, it's fun hitting more home runs and not hitting ending outs.
You have no fucking idea. I can't wait for this weekend for that. But
yeah. Yeah. So I mean, first of all, congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
That's one hell of a run and way to turn it around. I mean, I don't know if you guys were kind of, just during pool play, you're like, we're not doing this. We're just gonna.
What'd I tell you? Pool play don't mean shit. No, but with pool play, we took visitors. We took visitors both games because of the tiebreaker rule, right? And we ended up losing both games by one. And I talked to a couple other people, like Ellis Painting did the same thing. They lost a game because it ended tied, so they were home. Visitors get the win. So that was the whole. I think if we're home, we probably win. We at least split, if not go 2-0. But no, I appreciate it. No, it was a great weekend. I gotta tell you, like MP Sports Cards. I know we talked about them a lot earlier in the year when I saw them play Ellis, and I love these guys. I loved playing them last year. This team's legit. I'm looking at like the Jobin Painting looks strong.
Looks like Jobin's back, huh?
Yeah.
Did they have any C drop downs that came and played with them?
They did. They had Busa and Eli.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that is something to look at for this tournament. That's something, I mean, obviously there could be C guys that eventually drop down and play with these teams. Who knows? It all depends what happens with their other teams. But at the same time, I mean, it does make it a little different. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's where Different Breed and MP Sports Cards really, and even us, like I know we had Low playing with us, but we have somebody else joining us after that's going to fill that spot too. So full time. But MP Sports Cards and Different Breeds, they had their team. And I mean, like, Different Breed, fucking Christ, Kyle DeSalt. He went
who is this
on
Different
Super
Breed?
Bowl.
Who is this Different Breed team? This is the first time
they're out of Eastern Mass.
Okay.
Kyle DeSalt, Starkin picks on it. Matty Hebert, Langone, Matty Robinson. So they got a bunch of good dudes on there. But Kyle DeSalt, man, we talked. Like he was on the Challenge Cup team. We've talked about him on here. Guy goes full Superman, makes a hell of a grab in left center. I think on either Venuti or Ian. Like it was just that team's impressive. MP Sports Cards has a lot of like. It's just I'm looking at this final, even this final 8.
Yeah, I was
some
gonna say
solid teams.
yeah, there's some teams that we didn't really. I mean, Cupcakes Cannabis coming out and kind of showing what's
Yeah.
up. You know what I mean? Like they're top 5, top 4.
Yep.
I mean, that's good. That's a good
They-
showing from them, and they kind of came out of nowhere. Jeff Strains kind of came out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Especially after the year they had last year.
Yeah, yeah. Ellis Painting, I thought that they would make it a little bit further in the bracket, but they did have, once they lost, they had, that's a tough game to play Woo City right after you lose.
Oh, we saw Woo City, so we were waiting for Woo City taking on Limits after we lost to Jobin. So Woo City beat Ellis Painting 20-13. But that was their second game in a row. So they went, third game in a row, I believe. So they were already hot and rolling. FW Dennis Limits, a team from Rochester, New York. Same thing. They beat Immortal Llamas 22-11. They rolled, or 22-21. They rolled into Rudy's. So both of those teams are rolling. They both knocked off the team that was waiting for them to come. And then the two of them faced off in the game before to play us. 14-7 after the first inning with 1 home run hit. It was an amazing slugfest.
38-24.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, Limits just, they were beat up. They didn't have the depth on bench, and that ended up hurting them. But Woo City just hit, and then we beat Woo City 21-12. I think at that point it was their 4th game in a row. You run out of gas at some point.
Yeah, of course. Especially when you're just rolling games on Sunday. You're either going to roll right through or, it's possible depending on what your bench looks like if you're just putter out. But yeah, that's
Cannabis had a day, and that's where I was going with that too. They started at 8:30. They beat Mass Mayhem. They beat Mass Hornets. Then they beat A&D. Then they beat Premier Broadway. And then they finally lost to a different breed, 15-1. They lost, they just, same thing, run out of steam. Like, that's a hell of a run by those boys. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And so who played well? I think I saw Ian played pretty well in the championship games in the streams that I saw. I mean, that's if he's with you guys full time, that's a huge pickup.
He's with us full time. He's with us. So first tournament for Ian came up, was huge defensively for us, and he's with us for the rest of the year. Venuti. I mean, what else? It's Venuti. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like the kid just played well. But you know who surprised me? Justin Haskins and Joey Holmes had a fucking weekend. Like if both those guys probably hit close to 725, 750. Yeah. Like that's two nice guys that you weren't probably expecting it from.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, I don't even know if Haskins started when we played you guys.
No, he doesn't. He didn't. Haskins, I don't know if Haskins hit 750 in BP.
So, I mean, but that's what can happen, right?
Yeah.
You're a bench guy, a role player, and then one of your guys isn't hitting, and then all of a sudden you get a chance.
Boom.
You go in there and you start hitting and making plays, and you got yourself a little intra team little battle for position, and that's only going to make the whole team better, right?
Well, and that's what it was. We had Cam Lotta and Cooch, David Couture, on the bench hitting 800 and like high 6s sitting on the bench because of how other guys were playing. So then we go into Woo City and Orlando makes a couple changes because those guys were a couple of like, I went 1 for 3 against Hitman. I went 1 for 3 against Jobin. I came out and he put Cooch in and Cam Lotta and then we roll again. It's amazing when you actually have a depth and you have a bench of guys that there's no egos. Everybody, we've heard it on here how many times. No egos. Everybody just wants to win. Everybody's pulling for each other. What a difference that makes. And that's, I think, what the difference was at the end of the day.
Dude. It's awesome to see it, those guys getting the chance and coming through. So congratulations to you. Let's move over to the E real quick.
Yeah, let's take a look at the E. This looked like a great tournament. I got to tell you, Buggy's Plumbing coming out of left field after a year off. I love this Final Four. Chris Stebbins and what Knuckleheads are doing as a second-year team. Holy shit! Like, great to see them there.
Yeah, I saw a couple of their games, and their pitcher is very good.
Really?
He's a little lefty guy, but he makes all the plays. I say little. He's a younger lefty
Okay.
kid. Doesn't wear a mask. Doesn't wear anything. Just snapping people off
Oh,
left
I
and
hate
right.
that. Put a fucking mask on. Put a mask
Yeah,
on.
but he's that's a solid group. They can hit the ball too. But one of the things that I think, I mean,
Yeah.
Young Guns, they went on an absolute tear. I think they won games on Sunday.
I'm pulling it up
7-1
now.
on Sunday.
They went 7-1 on Sunday. Gee, you're right, because their last game was Saturday night at 8:30. They hit them up 25-13. Then they played 8:30, 10:30, 11:30, 1:30, 2:30, and they pushed an if game, I think. Did they push an if game?
Let's
Yeah,
see.
and they pushed an if game.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. They didn't push the if
They
game.
didn't.
So they
They did
finally
not.
ran out. They ran out of time. But like, holy shit, Young Guns.
13 games
Whew.
in 2 days. That is a lot.
That's a hell of a run, and Taylor Clark was their offensive tournament co-MVP. Like that's unreal. Where you're running off again. I'm assuming they had some depth because you're not going on a 13-game run with some depth. At least what I'm.
When
assuming.
I saw them, it didn't look like they might have had one or two guys on the bench.
Stop it! They had that few guys that went
maybe
there.
2 or 3. Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, yeah, it was a long weekend for those boys. I'm sure they were hurting yesterday.
They're calling
and
out of
still
work
hurting
yesterday.
today. Yeah, but one thing, the other thing that I noticed in the E, an all Maine championship, in the D, all Massachusetts championship.
Yeah, that was interesting. I was hoping for Connecticut because, like, listen, I was hoping I would have loved to have seen Cookie's crew be there at the end. I didn't think Buggy's Plumbing was going to come back out of nowhere. What we saw 2 years ago from them. I have liked what Chad's done with Cookie's crew over the number of years here in Connecticut, and he continues to do some strong things, and they're off to a great start. I can't really say I'm not surprised that a New Hampshire team wasn't here. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm not that shocked.
The 603 team?
No, just in general.
Or
New
just
Hampshire.
in general?
In general, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, the Wolfpack, they were battling too. They came in 7th, 6-3. When I saw them, they were smashing the ball. It looked like one of the teams that they played, I think they beat like 20-1 or something like that. It looked like 2 different divisions, and then the other game I caught, they won by 1, pretty close one to the team that they lost to earlier in the tournament. So that's a good team. One thing that I did not notice, Caven, very good pitching.
Was
did very well.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard he was going to be pitching this week. I hit with him on Friday night. They also had a 4.3 run differential and ended up coming in 7th, going 6-3. So it's at 2. So 5-2 in bracket play. Nice.
That's good in a tournament this
Yeah.
size. That's good.
Yeah, it is. You know who might have been the surprise of the tournament? Fat Man Mingaville going 2-0 in pool. I know pool play doesn't matter, as we said, but like then going 2-2, like they knocked off Hearts and 603 in pool. Like, give them a little bit of love. Although Hearts Construction not looking like the team they used to be.
Not in this tournament, at least.
No.
Yeah. I would say Young Guns though is probably my
biggest surprise.
Yeah, because Buggies was good last year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They were solid all year in E last year. So
Yes.
I mean, Young Guns, I think they won a tournament or 2 last year, but yeah, coming out and winning, or not winning, but coming in 2nd place in the Beast, winning 11 games. That's good stuff. So
that's awesome. No, it was great. Thanks to everybody that came up. Thanks to everybody that said hi. Before we move on, thanks to all you umpires that did this weekend. Like, shit conditions, long days, cold days, wet days. I know I texted Cooley when I was going over to Rollinsford, said, do you need anything? Katie, you're a trooper. I had a bunch of games with you, Cal, coming up doing these. So, like, Waddy did two full days as well. Dana, like we just had a bunch of guys, and I just want to say all the umpires, at least the ones I saw, I tried to make sure I thanked you. If I didn't get a chance, I apologize. But everyone that did the E&D, thank you so much for all the things you did. It sounds like there was some shit somewhere. I didn't see it, but doesn't mean it didn't happen. But it sounded like from the umpires I talked to, at least in the D's, everything went pretty smoothly. And thanks again for all of the hard work you guys put in this weekend. Because without y'all, we're not putting this tournament on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, hey,
with that said,
let's bring the boys in.
All right, let's do it.
What's up, boys?
Gentlemen.
What's going on?
What's up, fellas?
Oh, we're going to have some fun this weekend. Like, we're going from Beast into the Beloli. I think we're going to need the weekend to recover. I'm going to Denver tomorrow, so we're going to have some fun. I'm having a great 4-day stretch here of Denver into the Beloli Open.
Beast Denver into Beloli Open for you. That's whew.
Why not?
Look at you.
Oh, look at Keith. So Keith, I'm telling you, every time Keith comes up here, his podcast appearances just get a little more technical. I like that. Oh, look at that in the background.
Wow. Look at the slideshow. I love it.
This is great. What's going on, boys? Looks like we might have some decent weather for this weekend.
Yeah, hopefully. I start looking every week on Mondays and follow it right on through. As of right now, it should be okay. They're looking possibly some showers on Wednesday and Thursday in the Taunton area, but should be good.
Hick, you've had some shit luck though.
Yeah.
I mean, I know our guys. We were supposed to play in that year 2-day at the end of April. I know nobody was thrilled when you canceled it, but we talked about it here. I love when you cancel it early because you know, and you've been on here talking about what you do for everything. So canceling it early, I'd rather see that than travel a couple hours. And then
it was tough early in the year. You get a lot of teams, J-Ro. I had New Hampshire, I had Maine in that one, and the guys from Maine, some of them are 4 hours plus.
Right.
And when people are getting hotel rooms to come to your event, you sort of have to take that into consideration. So I took some heat. It didn't rain until 6 o'clock. We could have played a lot of softball that day. We wouldn't have finished the tournament. So that's really what I look at. I learned a valuable lesson. Probably 5 years. I think Dustin was there with Bad Beat, and we had a monsoon at about 11 o'clock, and I just refunded all the money. Well, at the end of the day, I don't get the money back from the grounds crew, from the umpires that 4 rounds of games, the 8, the 9, the 10, the 11, and then how many softballs were hitting the woods, and we weren't shagging softballs in torrential rain. So that was an 8 home run event.
Mm-hmm.
I lost about $1,000 in an instant. So I was like, it is just not enough money in it to do that. So I err on the side of caution. If I think I can't finish the tournament, then I just don't play it.
I've been saying that. Anybody that ever said boo about it, I explain it exactly that. I say, hey, first off, I'm trying to get some listens and downloads. I say, go back and listen to an episode. But I do say this is why Hickey cancels it. It's not because he doesn't want to see us play. It's because he's doing it for X, Y, and Z reasons. And once you lay it out like there, people understand it. Yeah. Because it is – I don't think people understand how much money goes into it than just the umpires. There's the field maintenance. There's the other portions of it.
Right.
So once I explain that, we're in good. People understand it pretty easily, which is great. But it'll be nice. No worry about it this weekend.
It doesn't look that way. It looks like we're going to be in good shape. So I was over there today actually trying to cut some brush down so that the guys that we hire to shag the balls don't get annihilated with poison ivy. So I had a couple of machines over there, and we did quite a bit of brush cutting today. Put about 5 hours in over there. So
It never ends for you, Hick.
It just, it doesn't. It's like whatever. Like it is what it is. It's a cost of doing business. It's tough. The city they don't do anything over there. It's Bobby Noons, Mitch Reed, Steve Green, Johnson. Even though he talks more than he works, but those guys they do everything, and you can't. They're volunteering their time, so they do all the field maintenance. Like it's tough. It's tough. So you can't. I try to chip in as much as I can. Over there, it's tough. They do it all on their own. So no help from the city whatsoever.
That's what.
We're seeing that. We're seeing that everywhere. I feel.
Yeah.
Like just the cities are just completely done with.
Yeah.
Adult sports.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
But we pay every once in a while.
Yeah.
We pay a little bit. So, Keith, a couple sponsors here for you. Hell of a job, you guys, with actually both of you, with getting these sponsors for this weekend. I'm looking at the list here, and, by my quick math, we're looking at 59 sponsors for this tournament this weekend.
59.
That's unbelievable. That is great.
I remember the first time, I think it was like 9.
Wow.
No kidding.
Yeah, 3 years. Was it? Heck, 3 years ago we started it. Oh, this will be the third year.
With this will be the third year.
So the first year was 9 sponsors.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, we started the process late that year. We really just, I think it was the day before that Friday, when Tom Carey from Carey's Discount Oil came through in a big way for Keith and sort of put us over the top. And Keith and I had the conversation about, hey, why don't we surprise the teams when they show up? And it was great, man. It was fucking priceless. I'm telling you, the reactions, like it was worth it. It was worth the price of admission. Just say, hey, it's free today. People are like, what are you, out of your fucking mind? I'm like, no, it's free. So
that was wild. I remember going up to you and just being like, what are you talking about? Heck, come on.
Exactly. Yeah. Dustin, you were one of those guys. Yeah. And listen, in terms of the sponsorship, all the credit goes to Keith. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I've been beating down the doors. I made some calls, for equipment to manufacturers. Keith's done all the legwork. That's his end. I do the tournament. And he does the sponsorship. So it's big and really, truly thank you, because to Keith and to all the people that are sponsoring this event, it's unlike any other. And I don't, I go to the national convention each year and we talk about it. I don't know of any other area that offers a free event. I mean, it's unheard of. So, Keith's proud of it. He's proud of his family. He's proud of his dad, and it's part of keeping his dad's name alive. And I can let him talk more about it from a personal level. But I named the tournament after Andy so many years ago because of what Andy meant as a sponsor to not just to me, from a playing for his league team, but to all the other teams. Did I lose you guys?
No, you're still
You're still trucking along.
You look like you lost something, but it wasn't us.
We kicked Coco off tonight for you.
Dude, it was yeah. Coco, we're right. Coco, come over to the house and work this fucking laptop. Since you're a fucking IT expert. Anyway, holy shit, dude! I was like a squirrel in the middle of a road. The fucking thing went black. And I was like, "What's going on here?" Holy shit! Yeah, this is not my cup of tea. But anyway,
You know what's great here? Like I'm looking at this list of sponsors too, and Keith, like you could do anything here. Like we'll post all the sponsors here in a separate post leading up to Saturday. Maybe I'll do it on my flight tomorrow. But you're talking everything from softball apparel, bat companies, Jimmer Stick, MD Phillips refrigeration. We got Fish Head Cantina down in Maryland. We have Trenchless Pipe Repair of New England. Legitimately, if there's anything you need, go to this sponsor list and hit up one of the sponsors.
Yeah, it's like a
Just in
free
case
networking group.
Yeah.
Just think, if you need a lawyer, he's on there too.
Well,
Right.
fuck, there's enough D-Gens. There's enough D-Gens playing this weekend. I'm sure we'll all need one at some point.
100%. Couldn't.
So
A lot
one
of
thing that I noticed as well, this tournament always brings a really good field of teams. This year might be the best that I've seen in a long time.
yeah,
And with the shootout, with the shootout not happening for the other like big open NIT in the area, outside of the Firecracker and the Beast of the East, this is the biggest. I would say biggest and probably with the best teams, NIT that the Northeast has to offer.
yeah. I'm excited about that end of it. It's been 10 years since the boys from Quebec have been down to Taunton. So, we talk about it every year. It just never really fits into their schedule. This year it happens to fit in.
Good.
So I email back and forth with Chap, and when they were Air Transit, when they were Pharmapar, and through the different sponsors that he's had, and Frank Henry, obviously with Louisville, is tight with Keith, and he plays for the team, and so they've been talking, and it worked out well for those guys to come, and then having Joel and the guys come up from Long Island is also huge, with Chosen. So it adds two more teams, from at a B level. So that certainly raises the intensity level of the event rather than just having PF and Beloli. You have 4 B teams, and then the C teams that usually get in it. A couple of the upper C teams are in it as well. It's give or take each year whether they play in it or not. But now I think it's become a little bit more established, and people are putting it on their schedule. We had a wait list. It was closed on January 17th, I think.
The schedule came out like January 8th.
I put it. Yeah, I put mass online like the 5th or 6th of January, and so 10 days later the event was closed. So.
Well, and I'm looking at these teams, and listen, I've been pretty vocal about it. I'm excited we have 2 conference teams in New England. I love that Chosen's coming up for this tournament as well. We got, Team Pro Action coming down. And I'm looking at this, like the C teams, the C division this year, I think it's finally getting to the spot where you've been working for the last couple of years. C is fucking awesome. It is so fun to watch because last year, we had Smith and maybe like 1 or 2 other teams with RDD, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but like this year, I feel like going to every tournament, there's 5 or 6 C teams that could win it.
Yeah. And that's my hope, J-Ro, to be honest with you. I think that you and I have talked, publicly, privately. My goal is for the C division to look. I don't have, I'm not disillusioned to think that there's going to be, 60 local C teams like we had in the 90s, but 30 would be nice. Why can't we? And part of it is the reclass process, and I've been vocal about this. Each year, C players continue to file for reclass and move down, and if they don't get it, then they play on a D team, or they get D elite and they play on a D team. And so the C division continues to get stripped each year. I applaud, like, RDD got bumped 2 years ago, and they played well last year. This year you have Toro, Wolverines. You have some other teams that they didn't break up. They decided to stick together, and I applaud those teams for that. I've been vocal about that, from December and January when the list first came out. That's what we want to see, not a team that tanks it and plays 3 or 4 tournaments and then just says, forget it, we can't compete. Well, how do you even know? You never had a full team. You didn't go to Worlds. How do you know? So I just don't think that the difference between the high level D teams and the C teams is as great as people say it is. I just don't think it is. So
I mean, we've heard it from other D teams that have broken up and went to play C and broke up, but brought in other people, and they're like, we should have just kept our boys together because we would have been fine.
Right.
And I'm looking at this so there's 3 D teams this weekend. You have MP Sports Cards, you have the Ville, and you have A&D Plumbing. Those 3 teams are, A&D Plumbing. They went up last year, Hitmen, tried to play C, didn't work out, so they're playing D this year as a team reclass. But that's a team that can compete here. They made a couple additions that could absolutely be a team that could compete. The Ville, same kind of thing. I think we can compete, with some teams we showed in.
Well, you have the
tournament.
Beast of the East Championship.
You have the two top 2 teams, and then you have a team that was in the winners bracket semifinals. Like, you're looking at, and I think all 3 of these teams are going to get bumped at the end of the year. To be honest with you, I'm not saying anything.
Jiro's hot take of the year, right there.
Yeah. I would be shocked if they don't. MP was good last year. They made a lot of changes.
Yeah.
And it's just going to continue to grow the C. But you're right, Hick. Sure. The bigger thing is who gets the right B guys, right? I think that's the big thing is how do you get the B guys? There's not a ton of them to go around. You don't necessarily need them to be competitive in the C. To be a top team, sure. Be competitive, no.
Yeah. Agreed. I agree. 100%. 100%.
So Keith, what do we have in store for this week? I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm just staring at this bracket, and I'm going to drop the first little nugget of the bracket. The boys are going at it again at 8 a.m. National Gold's taking on the Ville. Dustin and J-Ro going head to head again. I can't wait. What are we looking at for this weekend? What do you have in store for us?
Hick, you want to reveal it now or?
Fire away, brother. Let's go. Fire away.
So this weekend, we had to wait till today to make sure 100%. But this weekend, it's supplied bat.
Oh, look at this. A supplied bat Beloli?
So it'll be
holy shit.
Louisville, Passamouts, Everett Williams, supply bat.
I love a supplied bat tournament. Love it. And it also is going to save Hick a bunch of time at the beginning of the day.
Yes.
From
testing,
having to test a bat. Yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah. I do get a little ornery around testing time, don't I, Dustin? It's so frustrating. I don't think we should have to do it, but obviously we do because people feel the need to, go the other direction. But anyway, I take a lot of heat in Taunton about the softballs and generally, if for the D&E teams, I use the 52-275. And the idea is to keep the ball in the park without question. Last year, we used a Worth ball, Pro-M, and the manufacturers had issues. All of them did in getting balls. So we used a composite cover. It was fairly warm. The ball did not carry last year.
Hick.
people,
Guys that could hit home runs can hit home
well,
runs, okay?
that's always the case.
No one likes hearing that though.
That's always
Everyone,
no one likes hearing. So when you
We'll see this weekend.
I'm just going to tell you right now, when you test, the home runs are cut in half, maybe cut 3/4. So it speaks volumes about the testing and that's where we're at. So this weekend the ball is going to be the Baden Fire Pro-Am 44-375. So
Okay.
you can hit this ball out with an aluminum bat. So
yep, those things fly.
Used these last year in the Wally's World, if you guys remember. And
I don't remember hitting many home runs, but I do remember a lot of other people doing so.
We hit a ton at Gonick at the 270 field. We went to Rochester. It looked like it was a 700-foot field, being a little tiny one.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
those are good balls.
So this ball will go. It's a synthetic cover. It's not a composite cover. So the heat, condensation, all the above shouldn't have an effect on this ball. So there should be no issue. They're all brand new. There's plenty of, we'll be rolling in with 18 dozen balls. So, there'll be freshies, as they say, in the bucket. So with the 8 home runs, have at it, boys. Should be fun.
Just because you have 18 dozen and you also have people that help out with this tournament, don't be afraid to go take a walk. Grab yourself a water, rehydrate, maybe a banana. Go get fucking balls too. Go help out. Like there's a lot of work that goes in this tournament to have some fun. Go grab some extra balls for the boys.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say about this is that the last 2 years, a lot of people have come up to me, hey, what can I do? The main thing is getting the foul balls, the home runs. We don't have enough people to be chasing balls.
Right.
The event is free for everyone. Not one team, all of them. And I see the same thing every year. 2-3 guys from the same team doing every game. I don't understand it. Your team is what?
Yeah, it's the same every week.
The same group. Yeah, I mean,
the same
everybody.
guys. Dustin, it's his podcast. Dustin's always picking up trash in the dugout. Kyle Perry, Damian DaCosta. It's the same 6 or 8 guys every weekend in Taunton that are always going to shag foul balls, picking up trash, helping. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, we're adults. It's a free tournament. We harp on it a ton. Just pick up after yourselves. Don't
Even when it's not free.
And if it's not free, just pick up after yourself. Don't be an asshole.
Right. And I'm teaching my 5-year-old this too. Even if you didn't make the mess.
5-year-olds at this tournament.
Yeah. Even if you didn't make the mess, it's okay that you clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And please,
yeah.
return the balls. Don't put them in your bat bags.
Exactly. Grab a bucket. Go grab some balls in between games. Bring them back. Let's have some fun. You don't have to buy balls at this tournament. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of tournaments
they're
around.
free.
Yeah. I mean, the balls are included in the tournament. It's going to be fun. Supplied bats. Yeah. And if anyone's ever swung a Louisville, these guys are going to take the wrapper right out of them and right off of them. And the balls are going to be flying right away.
It's going to be like the firecracker after game 3, except right away.
Well, we'll find out.
Hey, Keith, are you doing shirts again this year? Do you have shirts for sale this year?
I do have some. Last year I had a lot.
There's a lot left over.
And
do you still have some of those left over?
Oh, yeah, a lot.
Bring those out by a handful.
So, I mean, there's approximately 150 to 200 people and maybe sold 20 shirts the max.
Ooh.
And that's what, that's to raise money to pay for this tournament. It's just, I get it.
I feel you.
Hey,
I still got a truck full of
players,
T-shirts. 3 years
I
later.
see players keep on coming in the field with 30 packs.
You gotta hydrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Well, I'm glad you gotta have some shirts. I got it. But no, grab a shirt. Here's another, like, just support a sponsor, whatever it is. Support the sponsors as well. I think that's a big thing too. Just grab some fucking balls, pick up the trash. Like we've seen. I know last year at the tournament, I see you guys both doing a ton of work for the obvious reasons. But I see Keith out there tracking down home run balls, foul balls, Hickey's, doing trash. I'm broadcasting a game. I look over and Hickey's cleaning up the other dugout, taking out trash, putting it in the dumpster. It's like, hey, take 5 minutes. I know we're all hanging out. I'm going to be broadcasting the games after we're done. Especially, I'll be doing at least the last 3 unless we're in them, which would be wild. It'd be awesome. If we're, but I'll be doing the last 3 games for sure. Help out around here. Like it's a great time. It's a great event. It's really a great day.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure. The last few years that I've been able to play in it, it's been an excellent day. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
Now, here's the thing: where the Canadians hanging out? Where are they being put up? Because I know when they went to the Firecracker, they stayed down the road. I think they're in like they stayed the Days Inn, and there was some street racing going outside the hotel. Did you guys at least give them some good recommendations for a hotel for this weekend?
We did.
All right.
We're not at liberty to say where they're staying. We don't. Frank has asked us to keep it private. He doesn't want anybody pulling the fire alarms on Friday night. So, But yeah, no, they're in a well-respected establishment. So.
Are they bringing the bus?
That
bringing the bus down?
I don't know if they're bringing the bus.
Well, I hope not, because they'll be taking up whole parking lot out front.
And with those balls, yikes.
Yeah.
Could be
There might be some
dents
dents.
on the bus. Yeah.
Hick, here's a question for you, and this is kind of a little bit off the topic of this weekend. We've been talking a lot about having, 2 Conference B teams in New England. You're seeing Alyssa, Derek, you're seeing Tab, playing with Chaos, we've jumped full on board with them. Love those ladies. Now, I know it's not your state, but you're seeing Gonzo being selected to the ASA
Awesome.
Young Gun, like unfucking believable.
That's awesome.
This is something. Is this getting back to kind of where you were with Magic in a sense, where we're seeing stuff happening in New England, where it's starting to grow again, and we're starting, I don't know if respect is the right word, but we're starting to put eyes on our area of softball.
It's about exposure, and unfortunately, to be exposed, there's a financial component. So, having been in that situation before myself, I just have the utmost respect for Keith and his sponsorship group, as well as Rob and with the Platinum Fire Group, because it's a huge undertaking to have a conference team. It's an incredible amount of money. So you guys know what it costs to run a local team, but now add flights into the mix and hotels, just about every weekend, and it's astronomical. So I think, when the conference was created, we had Checking was they were the only team around that had the money, when the conference was created in 2006, to be able to get in that. And I cobbled it together with 5 or 6 sponsors in order for us to go. And our first year was 2009, and it's tough. I mean, every year was a struggle to get that. And at that time, we were spending 75 to 80. So I'm guessing if these guys play that type of schedule now, you're up over 100. I mean, it's 10 years later. So, financially, it's insane.
With flights right now too.
I mean,
flights
a hotel room,
incredibly expensive.
I remember we were paying $80 a night on the hotel room. The hotel room's like $220 now. I mean, it's insane.
I
So
think Motel 6 in Portsmouth this weekend was $250.
Can you believe that? I mean, it's
No.
incredible. That's
With
incredible.
the rats.
So that's a big part of it. I absolutely applaud So What for what they did, 2 years ago, and tackling that, because it's a huge challenge, and they certainly had a ton of talented women. So now you see Tab and Alyssa with the team. Listen, there are several other women capable of playing at the conference level. Exposure is, they need to be seen. So it's word of mouth. The Challenge Cup is a big part of exposure now, and then having conference teams. That's how it's done. So, like you mentioned Gonzo with being on the USA Futures. I mean, yes, that's the other association, but I mean, I'm absolutely thrilled for the kid. He's a stud. He's a natural. We've been talking about him for 2 or 3 years. He's getting better and better every year. I mean, he is, he's on the edge of superstar status. Like you may not see him around here. It might be see you later, Keith. He might be with the big boys.
Like a Jobo situation.
Hey, I mean, and Jobo mashed it. I mean, you remember, he came down with, I don't know what they were, with SRS, or it was one of they were half Connecticut, half New York. They were C team.
Yeah.
And he came down to Taunton, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? And he's blasting balls over the trees. And it doesn't take long. If you can hit, you're going to go. He ended up with competitive edge, and look at him now. So there are guys out there that if the timing is right, if the exposure is right, there's guys and girls that certainly can play at that level. You see Jess Lisi was with, the women's, the Derby girls, the combat team for a couple of years. So there are players out there. We're not, we get a knock that because of the short season that we don't have the talent. We have the talent.
Oh yeah.
There are plenty of talented players, and some that never get exposed, some that don't get exposed. You guys mentioned earlier about Kyle from Different Breed. I mean, absolute stud. I every time I see that kid play, I'm saying he's the real deal. So there are men and women that are moving up the ranks, and if they get with the right mix and get on the right teams, they'll get the exposure and maybe make themselves a few dollars down the road. So.
Well, that's exactly what Alyssa was saying. She was out there in Chicago last year with the Connecticut Storm,
right?
And I think she hit 850, 830, something crazy. Right. Chaos, boom, you get this opportunity. And now I think she's been on 2 all-tournament teams. Chaos is having a hell of a year. Want to still shout out my girl, Sasha Killings, because I love her. But
Sasha kills it. I watched her in the Challenge Cup just crush ball after ball over the fence. She absolutely murders it.
J-Ro's been watching her very intently all season long.
I think I proposed to her one night. I was a little drunk.
That girl murders it. There's she just that flat out murders it. But you
never know who's watching a tournament.
Yeah. Signing with DeMarini. Mike Cornell posted that he signed Alyssa. That's huge. That's great for her. And that stuff that's what we want for all the men and women, in New England to continue to blossom, So that's good.
I don't think I know you and I haven't spoke since, at least on here since, before the Mojo. And I was on my way. I was in Chicago. I was at Midway, and I was talking to a team in Illinois. They're outside of Chicago, how they don't have a women's director. So what you and Lori are doing to promote the women's game in Massachusetts and in the region, I was pumping y'all's tires and saying, well, listen, this is what we're doing. You should see what's going on. And it's nice to hear that on the women's game, there's just that much respect on that side as much on the men's side to help develop and give players this opportunity, because when you're going outside of certain areas, they don't have the same opportunities. So it's
Yeah.
nice to see that the women, although sometimes they feel slighted, are getting multiple tournaments a month in the region.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's probably 9 or 10 years ago, I sat down with Ginny Trainer, who was the women's state director at the time. Jerry Riley was the assistant state director, and they had been involved in the women's program for years. And Laurie and Deb from Twisted, and Michelle and Robin from Fair Warning, and we talked about what do you want? What do you want from me? And they wanted to play on the same fields as the men. They wanted to play by the same rules as the men, the same setup tournament-wise, the same format. They wanted good softballs. And so I said, I can do all of those things. I can absolutely do all of those things. Then they said they wanted more tournaments. One year we put 30 women's events online. Now, they didn't all go off, but they wanted the option to be able to play more weekends. We scheduled 5 in Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Mass. We saturated it. So we've learned since to scale it back, to try to get them to all go on the same weekend rather than having 3 or 4 teams go different weekends.
Sure.
They for various reasons, whether a lot of the women that play are teachers. They can't start, they're teachers and coaches. They can't start their season for slow pitch until, into June when school ends. Some of them are moms. That's another issue. They have children that they need to take care of. Dad can just say, see you later, I'm going to softball. Moms don't have that same luxury. So,
right.
They face different challenges, but that's why I became passionate about it, because I was just listening to my customer is really what they are. You guys say all the time, everyone says U-Trip is a business. And so I listen to my customer, and this is what they ask for. And that's what I tried to deliver. The all-star games, the things like that, just to make it, make it as professional as I can. That's my goal.
No, and I'm thinking back, like I know people were messaging me, women's teams were messaging me about the Beast of the East up here, like wanting to travel for it. I was talking with with Rob Keegan from, oh my God, I'm
Recoil.
Recoil.
Simone, but Simone Spears,
Recoil.
not Simone Keegan with Recoil. They're coming down for the Firecracker this weekend. So you're starting to see, because of what's happening in this area, the amount of women, like you're starting to see women's team now come here as well,
Right.
which is
Right.
awesome to see. So, there's going to be 2 Canadian teams down in the States this weekend playing, which will be good. One on the men's side, one on the women's side. And hey, maybe we can get the Newfoundland White Sox down from, or maybe we played the Spartans out in Ohio. So maybe they can come down for some tourneys. But no, it's great what's going on, and I'm looking forward to this weekend. And Hick, it's been too damn long since I've seen you in person.
Yeah,
this
buddy.
goddamn
Yep.
rain, buddy. I can't
I
wait. We're
know.
gonna have some fun this weekend.
Definitely, J-Ro.
So,
Definitely.
oh, hey, one last thing. You liked those 2-hour-long episodes?
Oh, dude, those are great. Listen, I'll go back and watch those. The originals. Oh, you guys killed it. Get Jimmy O back on. Honestly, if you want the truth, J-Ro,
Yeah.
when you guys started cutting it short to an hour, I was bullshit. I was fucking pissed off. I was like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, you guys.
I was
go
pushing
big,
for Friday nights.
You guys go
at
big
that point.
time. Yeah, you guys go big time, and then you cut it down to an hour. What the fuck is this? I'm just getting into it. And listen, a lot of times I'm getting on late. I put my son to bed, so I don't get on until say 8:30. You guys are a half hour in. Then boom, the thing's over. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? So
I tell you what, Hick, this is the type of feedback we like. We listen to everybody's feedback, but yours is a little more weighted than everybody else's.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe we'll start going back to the marathon episodes again.
Yeah.
Maybe
Hey,
we
I'll
won't
tell
cut
you-
it short.
I get it, over the winter when there's not a lot to talk about, but during the season, you guys had some classics. You had a couple that were over 2 hours. Like,
God.
Those were bangers, man. I know Dustin's like, I got to go to bed. I got to get up for work. That shit. And listen, Daryl, how many more drinks will you have in the second hour? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I proposed to Sasha Killings one night because I was shit faced. Is that what you want to see?
I don't know. I don't want
No.
Amanda doesn't either.
No, I don't want Sasha to punch you in the face when you get down to Florida. So.
I'm scared to me. No, but you know what? It's when Dustin told me that today, I was like, really? Because hey, we can get going on here if we want. Like we're trying to keep it tight. But if you want the reins to come off, we can make it happen, baby.
I'm gonna push for weekends again because obvious reasons. Just
it's a running joke, J-Ro. You know I love the sound of my own voice. Like I do. Let's be honest, I do. I get on this fucking thing and I'm like,
let's go.
Hey, as you can tell, I haven't said a word tonight.
Well, exactly, Keith. Why the fuck do you even bother coming on?
Because he's in Coco's suit. He's in Coco's suit.
You're
right
in
now.
Coco's squad. Okay, listen. I just want to let you know, Coco texted me on the side.
He did too. I got it.
He said, I'm not going to be able to make it, so feel free to blab on as long as you want. I said, you got that, Coco. No.
You bring more of the show in one episode than Coco has in a month. It's a beautiful thing.
That's my boy.
Oh, I tell you what, it's funny because it's the running joke we have in our group chat too, on the shit you gave him the last time you were on. That we've carried that on every I feel like it comes up like every other week. It's great. All right, you know what, Dustin, I think what we're hearing back from the fans, or just Hickey, which is really the only thing that matters. We need to get in person. We need to have a nice bottle of maybe it is a couple cases of Game Up hydration. Hey, if you want to sponsor, we're in for that too. You can be the drinking segment, maybe a bottle of wine or 6 or whatever, Bert's beers, and we'll just get in person. We'll have Ubers go between our houses.
Yeah,
and we'll make this shit long again.
I love it.
Shit.
Before I leave, J-Ro, I want to shout out the manufacturers. I dealt with some. Keith dealt with some. Mike Cornell from DeMarini, huge. Rip at Juneau, unbelievable. Brett Helmer at Rawlings. Frank Henry, thank you very much, Frank. Louisville Slugger, you came through in a big, big way. So, there's a list of businesses, but, for me, I've relied on the manufacturers for years and years. I'm an Eastern guy. I say that. I had a relationship with Brett since the 90s, and I'll always be loyal to him because he's loyal to me. But the other manufacturers have come through in a huge way. I don't want them to be slighted. Mike Cornell, again, Rip, Frank Henry, guys, thank you very, very much. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to Keith, as far as his dad. So it's big.
It also meant a lot that the NTS came through with the UTH, the Juno testing, because that helped out the Ville this weekend. So thank you, NTS.
It also has not helped a lot of people, but
we won't go there.
It's not.
I've got all those bats in my bag. I got my DeMarini, I got my Juno, I've got my Louisville, and I've got an Easton. So I got all the sponsors for this weekend in my bag. So
we'll have some good giveaways.
A lot of giveaways.
We got a lot of giveaways. We got
a lot.
We got Mike in. Rawlings Sports Group came through with some stuff. So we've got a lot of stuff to give away. It's going to be. I think people are going to be happy. I think you're going to see, similar packages to last year. I think people will be very pleased. So,
hey Keith.
Yeah.
If we beat National Gold, do we get the Beloli sponsor?
Whoa.
Wow.
That's some fire, J-Ro.
You're on the spot, dude.
Jeez.
Well, it can just be National Gold OSS, and then the only difference is the National Gold in the Ville. We can just transfer the Beloli down.
Orlando? Yep. Okay. I have Orlando Aponte on 9-1.
Talk to my agent.
You got that word with you, Keith. You got that, oh, absolutely. What do you need? Yeah, Keith's got it. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
shit.
lovely.
This is going to be, we're going to have a fun weekend. It's going to be good to get everybody back together. What are we looking at? I mean, we're looking at is that 8:15 championship game? And heck, your tournaments always run really, really quickly. So, no, this is going to be good. I'm looking forward to getting everybody back down at Taunton, having some fun at Hartshorn Park, hitting over in Taunton before the games. It's going to be great. So, we'll see you boys this weekend.
One more thing.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Jada. So there'll be a food truck. If everybody can support the food truck and whoever's there selling stuff, we would appreciate it.
Dell's lemonade stand.
Yep.
Fresh squeezed lemonade. That's all.
Put a little bit of vodka in there.
Well,
Hell yeah.
Don't
Keith, now you're going.
hick earmuffs.
yes. Yes. Non-alcoholic. Yeah.
Non-alcoholic vodka.
Non-alcoholic vodka.
Right.
No, but I did see that. I saw the food truck is great. We're also going to be able to throw up the bracket here. It doesn't work with 4 people real well. So once you jump off, we'll expose the bracket. We'll share the bracket.
Heck, you got to go. Beat it.
Caught me, Mick.
Hey, we'll see you this weekend, guys.
All right,
Thanks,
see ya.
All right.
Keith. We'll
All
talk
right.
to you, boys.
Thanks,
There you go.
All right,
guys.
take care.
Thanks, guys. Oh, shit. That was great. It's so much fun having those two guys on there.
It really is.
Oh,
This tournament's going to be fun. I mean, it's grown. Obviously, it has grown in the last few years where Keith has really pushed for the sponsorships and the packages and whatnot. But I mean, yeah, here we go.
Look at
Here we
this.
go.
Look at this. Look at these brackets right here.
Okay,
This
you're
is.
zooming.
Sorry, I was zooming
Yeah.
way in so we could see it.
Big time zoom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here, you know what? And it's
Maybe
and
you
it's
should zoom
time-
out. This is pretty
Is
blurry.
this too much
This looks blurry I would say.
to the naked eye?
Oh my
Is that
God.
better?
It's
I mean, I'm going off the text. So here, I
Yeah.
got to get some music going quick for us too. What do we feel?
this requires music.
Oh, baby! Welcome to the 9th annual Andy Beloli Memorial Tournament, sponsored by Carrie's Oil. Oh, the bracket's all mine.
There we go.
That'll be way better than this text. So we're
Yeah.
gonna stop this. We'll get the music going.
I've
I've got it. I've already got it up here.
You got it.
Yeah. All right,
Can you
there
turn
we
the
go.
music down in my
It
headphones?
is loud, right?
Yeah. Turn it down in my headphones. Don't turn it up in my headphones.
There we go. 15. There we are. 15 might be the magic number. All right. Let's put this back up here. Let's try this again. All right. So here we go. We're starting off. I'm going to zoom in here. We got RDD taking on the runner-up at the D Beast of the East, MP Sports. Is that better?
There it is. There we are.
Oh, there we go. I gotta tell you, like, I know we were just talking about this. I like all of these first round games. Like, they're all good games.
I don't think you're going to find a bad game here in this tournament.
No.
That's kind of like the thing. I think a lot of these teams. I mean, maybe the best first round might be Yeti and Toro.
That's the one I'm looking at. Really thinking like that could be a tight game. Allstate's
Yeah, Allstate and
struggled
LFT.
a bit.
That's the other one, but Allstate has struggled a bit, but they
Yeah.
are a good team. That's a good team.
I don't disagree with that. They
They
just
are
haven't
good.
put it together yet.
Right.
And
I
LFT,
mean, yeah, LFT is good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be good, so that's going to
I
be a
like
good
the
game.
Yeti Toro with you.
Yeah, I like those two games. I think with the other games, I mean, the D teams, nothing against them, but they should lose in
should.
those situations.
Correct.
It would be nice to see one of them win, not the Ville. You know, this is the one time I'm going against the
Right.
Ville, or the second time. But Yeah.
But I mean, here's the thing. Like, you're looking at it. Like, I know RDD, you know, when they were up here last in Merrimack, we're kind of up and down. You guys played, you finished second to LFT. In Pro Action, we don't know what team they have. They've been playing well up over in Europe, and they've been playing a lot. So you never know what happens.
I heard a rumor that we might see a friend of the show that might be traveling with them. Maybe a long-haired fellow who plays the infield.
Really?
That might have played the PIF with us last year. Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
Is he going to ride his jet ski down, or is he going to be?
He's riding his jet ski from his house to the Taunton.
Coming from the rock.
He's staying in the marina.
I hope Belly brings his jet ski down.
Yeah, I hope that's a thing, because I would like to see him. But
there might not be enough beer in Taunton for Belly to show up. Oh my god!
You get into this second round and you're playing a B team, because I mean, nothing against if A&D is able to beat Pro Action, that would be pretty incredible, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got 3 B teams waiting for a winner, and then you got Pro Action just needs to play A&D and beat them. You're playing a B team if you win round 1, pretty much.
I would say here's what I think the upsets could be in the first round. Any of the 8 a.m. games, I feel like, could be the upsets. I just and the reason being I say that is because 8 a.m. it's who gets hot quicker, right? Who gets moving faster at 8 a.m. And I think typically first games of the day when they're 8, it's just who hits first gets going. When you're playing that 9:15, 10:30 games, and you're on these Conference B teams and chosen who won SeaWorld or was 2 at SeaWorld. So I think if we see an upset in the first round, I think it's going to be the 8 a.m. game. If Toro beats Yeti, I don't see that as an upset. I think this Toro Yeti game is just whoever wins is going to win. It's like an 8-9.
I think at this point,
Actually,
I think Yeti would be the
Yeti
if Yeti wins, they would be the upset.
Yeah,
because I think Toro has a better record at this point.
Yeah, but no, it's
going to be interesting.
This is because I remember 3 years ago, Way got in here, right? Diamond Cutters were here. They were giving out berths to the highest finishing team in their class. It was kind of spread out. Now we're looking at conference teams, 2 B teams, 2 conference teams, the top C teams in the area. You have the 2 top teams from the B's this year in D, and then you had a Final Four team from the D this past year as well. Like, you're looking at a well-rounded tournament.
This is a very good tournament.
And as you say, play up.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to run through this sponsor list, or do you want to just post it?
Let's give it a look here.
I mean, there are 59.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Here we go.
It's a lot. So we'll just leave it up here while we're chatting for a bit, and we'll just kind of scroll through. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's. I think you had mentioned it. Everything from, local companies that do work in the area to you have
like Bruce Bolt, BYB.
Yeah, equipment companies. You have batting glove
wealth
companies.
Management.
Yeah, there's just about anything. So we definitely should post this.
We will.
But I mean, this is a massive list.
This is going to take some time. What I'll probably end up doing is I'm going to go through and I'll attach contact information and website, and maybe I'll just post that right in a post, so it can be hyperlinked, so people can reach out to people if they want to. Rhode Island Baseball Institute, Rob's Heat, Scott Beloli. The Sikorsky aircraft was crazy, but Sports Wheel Sports Excellence up in Canada. So take a look at this. Take a look. Keith is using his the Andy Beloli tournament page. He's putting out all the sponsors on there. We're liking as many as we can, or see when they pop up in our feed, either Dustin or I on our personal feeds, or through the Bring It podcast page as well. So just keep an eye out. And realistically, if you can bring money to these sponsors, that's huge.
Yeah. Or if you're coming down to the tournament, buy a t-shirt. Buy a t-shirt.
As crazy as that sounds, that's it. Go buy a t-shirt.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an awesome tournament if you're going and your team's in it, and the guys said this is all free. You know what I mean? Like, it's a free tournament. Like, support it. Support the tournament that's giving you, a free day of softball. So
I need a Jimmer stick. I need to get one. I meant to get one at Worlds, and we just didn't cross paths again. We also need to get them on here. But, no, a lot of good stuff here.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be an excellent tournament. I'm excited to get down to Taunton this Saturday.
You know what's scary to me?
I honestly don't. Like, I can't answer that question.
The 2-hour episodes. Like, I feel like with Hick when he's like, you guys used to be it. Now you're only doing fucking an hour.
2-hour episodes are not made for live Facebook because there's just too much.
Dad down.
Yeah, we're letting Dad down. But the thing is that it's just they're just not for Facebook, I don't think, because there's a lot going on in those 2 hours.
So much drinking.
Yeah, drinking and edibles and.
God. I'll tell you. I have to scroll all the way back up here. Brian Flatow. Brian Flatow, is that the owner of Game Up Hydration? Because I'll tell you what.
Do you want to sponsor the Beloli Open?
Do you want to sponsor the pod and the Beloli
and
Open?
the Beloli Open?
There's
still time.
I will fucking drink this shit on the pod every fucking week. I love it.
Yeah, this
I will fucking
this lemon lime one is these both have hit. Yeah, these both have hit very, very well.
Mine are all gone. They've been gone for probably an hour now. I'm feeling great.
There we go.
I'm feeling hydrated. I'm feeling buzzed. I'm ready to go.
Then let's get out of here.
I want to fuck. I don't know who. I want to drink more Game Up Hard Hydration. I want to hit more balls. I'm ready to play this weekend. We don't have a Marry Fuck Kill this week, do we?
No.
And it has to be natural. Has to be natural.
Yeah. Marry Fuck Kill. The Ville, National Goal Beloli, and
hey, did you like that one? hey, Keith, if we beat National Goal, can we get the sponsor?
Oh my God.
Oh shit. I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at it. Like, hey, we talked about this before, and Dustin, you don't take it in that way. You know exactly what I'm saying. I'm excited to play you again. I always love playing you, especially now with the pod. Like, I also always just want to play up and play better teams and play not better teams, but different competition. Especially where there's a guy like Beach. I played like shit the first game against you guys, so I don't want Beach to think I'm just a guy with a mic. Like, I'm kind of like that. Like, I just want to be like, I don't want people to think I'm just a fucking guy with a mic. I can play a little bit of softball. I'm not just a rec guy, so I want to play good. I want to beat you. But if I didn't want to beat you, I'd stay home and fucking have poached eggs.
There we go. And I want you guys to score less runs than you did last time, because I think you scored too many last time. So
we didn't score enough. So you score less, we'll score more. We'll see you Saturday. Have a good one. We'll talk to you next week.
See ya.